In this video, we have the Haiboxing. This is the 2997A. This thing has grand potential. Haiboxing, this company produces a bunch of smaller scale vehicles. This is a 12th scale version of what they normally have. Brushless, 2S, 3S capable, 12th scale, so it's a little bit bigger. Can they translate their small scale performance into bigger performance? That is very excited to see what happens here today. We're going to take this thing for a test drive. We're going to bash it. We're going to see its durability. It's going to be great. But first thing, let's get it out of the box and overview the truck itself. Here's all what you get in the box. You obviously get a controller. This is the standard controller that Haiboxing has been using for quite some time now on their vehicles. It's a fairly basic radio, but it does everything that you need. Has good feel, has good control, no real issues with this. Has a little wing, so we can actually bolt the wing onto the back of the truck. Whole bag, two different battery chargers, body clips, T-wrench plus some spare hexes, some spare nuts, a bind plug, and then a massive 2S 1800 milliamp lithium battery. And there's another one in the truck, so you do get two of those as you purchase it. Instruction manual with a lot of basics on how to get started. They will have some battery safety and their information to connect to them on social media and their website in case you need ever to get parts or to get a hold of customer service. When you get back here into the back, you get some parts lists and exploded diagrams, which I'm always very keen to see, because if you ever need to work on the vehicles, this is super helpful so that you can actually understand how the vehicle goes together and what you may or may not need to get into in order to repair it. And then lastly, of course, some stickers that need to go on the body. The truck itself looking quite nice. Now let's dive into the truck itself a little bit more. The truck is quite good looking, kind of that truggy style, which means a little bit lower to the ground, tires sticking out. Should be really good for handling, and unlike some other vehicles that I've reviewed here recently, no real issues with body rub or clearance that way, so that is a great thing to see. Tires are pretty hard, if I'm honest, like pretty stiff rubber here, but it's probably going to be good if a lot of folks are going to be ended up running this in driveways, road, and all that. It'll help them last longer. Just know that off-road, we're going to have to watch to see how good a traction these give us in the grass and the dirt, that kind of thing. Nice big bumper up front in order to take some abuse there. Skid plate up here on the top to help protect the body as it runs. And then, of course, we're going to be bolting on the wing here in a minute. That's exactly what you want to be able to see. No excessive bounce. That means we have some nicely oil-filled shocks on all four corners. That'll really help with control. Now let's get the body off and see what we find underneath. Oh, well, that's got something you need to be careful with immediately, is there is a light system up here in the roof, and it is plugged into the receiver. Fortunately, it is on a coiled wire, so you're not going to immediately rip it out, but you do need to be careful with that. So I'm going to unplug it just to get this out of the way. I'm going to pull off this piece of paper before we ever drive this sticker. This is just a warning that once you drive the vehicle, it's going to be hot, so you're going to want to be careful with this motor and this heatsink, but it is good. Brushless motor, somewhere around 3800 kV with a heatsink on here to help keep it cool. That is a great thing. Servo here up front with a little servo saver on it. It does appear to be a standard 3-wire servo that's plugging into the standalone receiver. This is a big deal. A lot of times on the more budget-oriented vehicles, the ESC and the receiver are one. They are one electronic component instead of two separate ones. Two separate is better, because if you do want to later upgrade the ESC, you actually can without having to replace the receiver and the controller as well. So I'm really glad that I'm starting to see this on some of these more budget entry vehicles, is that they are splitting this. You do have your on-off switch right here attached to the center, and these two little things right here, these are capacitors. So that is there to help the ESC whenever you're really hard on the throttle. It's going to help give it just that little bit extra boost of that initial acceleration. On this side, like we noted earlier, here is that spare 2S 1800 milliamp LiPo. So you do end up with two of them, and you have two different chargers that you can use to charge them. The ESC connects to them with a standard Dean's or T-plug style. This is very, very common. It's a good fit for this size of vehicle. And you can get a lot of spare batteries. can come with this style plug. So if you end up wanting more than just the two 1800 milliamp that come with it, you can check the battery dimensions, and you can find online a whole bunch of different batteries that will also plug straight into this. Now, when we look at the core chassis design itself, it actually looks kind of similar to a previous Haiboxing model that did rather well. So I'm excited to see that. This is a full metal driveline. Again, shocks are in good shape. I'm seeing very large, beefy universal joints in the front, and it looks like dog bone style in the rear. But if you are breaking those, I will be very, very surprised. It should be very durable for this truck. Chassis should be nice. The tub style with both a lower deck and an upper deck should be nice and strong. I doubt that you'd have any issues with this truck running that. Now, I see that Haiboxing has, just like many other budget entry vehicles here recently, made the same dang mistake, and honestly, this is starting to become a pet peeve of mine. These plastic roof skids that they put in are great. It's absolutely nice. They really do help protect the body. But they put them on top of the plastic that's there to help protect the body. And then what you immediately have to do is either cut it off, try to get in here with a knife and cut it off, or you have to come in here and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws off to take this whole plastic piece off to get the rest of this covering, this protective barrier off. Haiboxing, if you are listening, other manufacturers, if you're listening, stop doing this. I've taken this off, I've done the plastic. The wing bolts on pretty simply. It provides you the bracket on the bottom with 3 screws, and then the wing goes right in here in the front. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit nervous right here. I saw someone else, Bang for Your Buck Reviews. He had this truck and pretty quickly ripped this off with some crashes. As I bolt it on there, I am not feeling that it's actually very secure design, this rear wing on this truck. I would be very tempted, if you are giving this to a novice driver, I'd be very tempted to leave the wing off. I believe that the rear of this body may take less damage if that is not there to provide any leverage on it. Turn the controller on. Vehicle on. Oh, we have steering. Whoa! Just 2 a little bit of a funny sound coming out of it. Maybe that's just the gear mesh in there, but good power. Steering works nicely. This is awesome. Let's give it out and get a test drive. First thing a lot of folks want to know, will it drive in grass? Oh my, even just 2S LiPo, absolutely no question. 12 scale, just big enough. I mean, it'll tackle a lot of off-road terrain at that size. Speed is good. Oh! Wheelied it, crashed it, barrel rolled it. I'm getting good traction, honestly. I was worried about how, I was worried about how hard those tires were, but honestly, traction's really good. Woo. Speed's pretty good. Hard tires on the paved surface, that provides some traction issues there. Literally just hit myself. Oh, that took a hit. Now we need to see, will it backflip? I don't know if it will on 2S. I don't know if we have enough power here. Oh, nope, not even close. Oh, Nope. Alright, I think it's time for 3S LiPo. Let's go through a 3S in it and see what happens. Wedged this Ovotic 29200 milliamp 3S in here. I have to use an adapter because I don't have a Dean's plug on it. I'm going to have to wrap a piece of tape or something around it because it doesn't fit. I'll leave a link down in the video description to a 3S LiPo that actually will. Now, how much faster is it with the 3S in it? .3S LiPo time. Let's see if it'll backflip now. Oh yeah, nailed the backflip. Almost hit myself again. Oh gosh. And it just keeps going. It just keeps taking it. Alright, I'm getting stupid now. We're going to try to do a front flip. Oh, it almost landed it. It all four tired it, but it bounced. Alright, I'm getting wild with this thing. It's time to put it up before I break it. I love to give away these things, not break them. But oh my gosh, can you see this thing? 2S, the thing was fun. I think the thing's controllable. The tires are borderline too stiff for this truck on 2S. Once you get to 3S, it could probably really, if you're driving it on hard surfaces, once you got into the 3S, you're gonna want an upgraded tire. You're gonna want something stickier. You can't even use half the throttle on 3S without the thing spinning out. So like, you really are gonna want to do it in that situation. But in the grass, those hard tires still hooked up really well. And this is wet grass out here today. And then those backflips and those big nasty jumps. I mean, this thing is sailing through the air back here in my yard and just absolutely taking every hit, every landing. Bottom line, right now this thing is on Amazon for $199 with a $35 discount. That puts it in that like 165-ish range, something along those lines. That's the same price point as like an Armagorgon, but that's only 2-wheel drive and brushed. This is 4-wheel drive and brushless, and it's taking every hit. It's fast, it's fun. I'll be honest, this might be the best under $200 ready to run that you can get right now. I'm gonna go clean all the dirt and muck and wet grass off of this thing. If you're curious about anything I've done, have any questions, leave them down in the video comments below. Otherwise, if you're curious about other vehicle reviews, those will be in a playlist popping up straight here to your right. Go over there and check them out. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.